Good afternoon or good evening, should we say, and welcome back to the Man United Agenda. And we are here tonight to present for you Manchester United versus Brentford Premier League preview show. Good afternoon, everyone, and good evening, should we say, from all around the world. If you're watching us on from the Man United Agenda, as always, we're joined by a fantastic panel and Yankee talking the smack. Sir, how are you doing?
Good, getting a bit hungry. It's getting a bit towards lunchtime, but doing all right.
And Paddy, as always, sir.
Hello, hey, good evening. How you doing? You're right. How you doing?
Brilliant. Bath time, sir.
Yeah, all right, lads. Delighted to be here. I'm actually quite full. I've eaten too much chicken. I'm looking forward to speaking to everyone and seeing some good comments in chat.
Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. And guys, already, if you're new to the channel, you know what to do. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button. We're on the road to 2K subscribers. So, guys, let's kickstart. And I've got a funny story to tell, and it's about this meeting against obviously Brentford, playing Brentford back at Old Trafford. But me and Monday actually went to this game. And as I walk in, so we went to do a few fan cam. We didn't actually physically go into the ground itself, but to catch up. So I met someone the day, sort of the same day of when the game was kicking off. So I was talking to this lady and I went, "Oh, where's the best place sort of in Brentford to go and watch the actual game?" So she went, "Oh, you know what? I work in this sort of pub. So why don't you go to the pub?" I've gone into the pub and no word of lie. As I walk into the pub, I'm sitting there talking to this lady. I'm saying, "Oh, by the way, is this person work here?" She looked at me and she went, "Oh, yeah, she's over there." So I've run over there and like, "Oh, you know what? Thank you so much." As I walk there, like that feeling, you look and you go, "But that's not you," like that. And I just sat there and I went, "Oh my God, am I in the right pub?" And she went, "No, you're in the right pub." So I said, "But the girl said she works here and you got the same name as her." She went, "Nah, mate, nah, sorry, wrong person." So this weird guy is walking around the pub trying to find a female who actually physically doesn't work there anyway. And so that's the story anyway. And then when Rashford scored a goal, I didn't even celebrate. I was that disappointed in the first half performance. That's my story about Man United.
It's sad that story didn't involve you smashing Frank after his disgusting comments after the game.
There you go. Oh, it was as well, innit? But to be honest with you, I do sort of understand. I did agree with him a bit. For the caliber of players Manchester United have, you'd think we could have gone there and put on actually a decent performance first half rather than waiting for the second half, really. So, but we are going to be discussing it and finding out what's going on with it. So what I will be doing tonight is we're going to get Yankee Talk Smack to read the comments out when I need them to be read out. If you wouldn't mind for us, please,
Oh
sir.
boy, big job. All right, I got
Big
this.
job, big job. So before we kickstart the show, though, guys, we're going to talk about the 3-1 meeting. And I think you spoke about it straight away, Yankee. So we go to you first. Manchester United, last time we meet these guys, it was a 3-1 Manchester United victory. First half, we're very sort of poor. We did create a few chances in the first half, but not enough to go and sort of get a goal. In the first half, I was saying to Monday when Monday was asking me what would I change in the game, and I said, "Oh, we'd bring off Elangi. I don't think Elangi is playing that well." Love and behold, he did pop up with a goal. So Monday sat there and sort of like grabbed me on my shoulder and told you, "I told you, keep him on." Yeah, Monday's a big guy as well.
Dreadlocks
so, yeah.
flying.
Yeah. So we had obviously we spoke about the comments that the manager made afterwards. What did you make of the sort of performance the last time we met, Yankee Talk Smack?
It's one of those games where you play shite and you're just lucky to come out with 3 points, honestly. The score, you hear a lot of times about score lines being extremely deceiving. That was a game that was extremely deceiving because if you look at it, you think 3-1, okay, United pretty much controlled that game, it looks like, got their goals, easy win against a team that's just come up from the championship. You deep it, and I do kind of agree with you. The comments by the manager about saying that we should have really kicked their ass was true because we were poor, and that's a team that we should be beating 10 times out of 10. But we were lucky to come away with the win, and I will never, turn my back on 3 points. I'll never say that I'm not happy with 3 points in the bag, but definitely got lucky. And with them adding Christian Eriksen, who I think is a phenomenal player, it's going to be even tougher now to beat them a second time.
Bath time.
Yeah, so like I have an absolutely terrible memory, which will surprise no one. And I had to go back and actually watch the highlights about 20 minutes ago to remind myself what happened in that game. There were three things that it reminded me of. The first one was that Harry Maguire didn't start that game, did he?
No,
And then he
didn't.
came on, and we instantly conceded from a corner. So that was quite fun. But one of the big things in that game was we were absolutely shocking at transitions from corner kicks. I don't know if anyone remembers it, but there were 2 or 3 times in that game where we had a corner and it led to a 2-on-1 10 seconds later in our penalty box. Absolutely disgraceful, and it's something we've got to be really careful about. Tomorrow is how we protect the centre of the pitch. And the other thing that happened in that game was, I agree, it was a poor first half, but I remember being lucky enough to watch the watch along with Talk and Mr. B, and Scott McTominay had an absolutely monster second half in that game.
Yeah.
But he was doing stuff that I don't like, which is progressing the ball through dribbles. So when we play Brentford, I'm going to be very interested in seeing what passing angles we set up to be able to get the ball forward, because I don't like Matic and McTominay having to break the lines with carries. I don't think it's like where we should be trying to go as a football club by having dribblers in the midfield.
I mean, I'm a McTominay fan, and I can tell you first and foremost, he's not a dribbler. That's why he plays centre back for Scotland.
He is a very good progressive carrier of the ball, though. Like maybe not like dribbling people, but just getting it and moving it forward. He's one of our best.
Yeah. And Paddy?
Yeah, first I was dreadful. I remember back was 19th of January, I think it was, on the last time our meeting with them. First half shocking it was, and I think Brentford, you know, they've got a great little ground there, haven't they? And a great support there, and they've got the crowd behind them. They are a lovely little club, haven't they? So I think they had the momentum of the crowd with them first half, and we couldn't really get to grips again. I think that was. But second half, we stormed and we got our goals back. So McTominay did have a monster of a game, actually. Tough tackler. I know you talk about dribbles, we talk about taking the ball up there, but it's a tough tackler, and he did well. Young Greenwood scored, and I think Ratchford scored. So second half, and De Gea saved us first half yet again. And again, we talk about De Gea. He saved us first half again. He's been doing it all season. He's our player of the season for me, De Gea. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. That game was difficult. But again, back in January, it's a long time ago, isn't it? You know, it's a long time ago. And we had Greenwood up front. And I saw the goal today, Greenwood's goal, and I'd like to have him back in the team. You know, despite all his problems. You know, he's had all his problems. Sorry, he's had. It'd be nice to have him without his problems. Have him in the team, but we haven't got that luxury, have we? So
yeah. But going back to the game as well, it's possession wise, we had more possession than them. They had in that game they had 18 shots on goal and actually 9 on target to our 5, and 13 we had. It's sort of scary because obviously De Gea did save us in that game, but it is so true though when you look at the overall picture and when the manager of the opposition is coming out and making sort of those statements, you have to take a sort of step back and think to yourself, we're Manchester United. Don't get me wrong, we don't have the given right to go out and smash teams up left, right, and centre. But the way they set up and they played, they were very unlucky in sort of not taking any points away from that game whatsoever. And again, it's down to De Gea.
Exactly.
I kind of think that comes with the team, though. I think that comes with, you know, we have De Gea for a reason because we're Manchester United. You know, certain teams attract certain players, and that's why we've over the years attracted the players we have, like Ibrahimovic, Pogba coming back, De Gea being still on the team, bringing in Rafael Varane, Ronaldo coming back, stuff like that. I think that just comes with the team. I love, you know, giving De Gea plaudits. I'm a goalkeeper myself, so I love seeing goalies get, you know, attention and being called having a really good game. But part of it's kind of like, well, and it's the same thing with Ronaldo scoring all the goals. It's like, oh, you're lucky you have Ronaldo. I'm like, yeah, but we have him, so he might as well do his job. You know, we have the player. He might as well do his job if he's going to be on the team. So, you know, we're lucky to have him, but he might as well do his job and score goals. He might as well do his job for De Gea and, you know, save shots if he's going to be on the team. They just do it a little bit better than everybody else.
But just going back to your point, Errol, you know, about the fact that, you know, we're not feared, are we, anymore? We go away from home. We're not feared at all by teams anymore like we used to be. And that first half by Brentford just says it all. And the manager's comment saying, really. You know, Man United, who are they now? They're not, you know, we're not feared, are we? We're not feared at all.
Bath Time, you're going to say something?
Yeah, I just like to. First of all, I agree with MUFC old school. I'm a massive fan of Scott McTominay, and I don't think a defensive midfielder is exactly what he is. But to go back to sort of De Gea, and specifically De Gea against Brentford, there is an issue with De Gea that we talk about a lot, but it is magnified. The biggest lens on it is in the Brentford game. I'm sure we can all remember at the start of the season when life seemed worth living more, to be honest. Brentford absolutely smashed Arsenal, and it was hilarious. They used exactly the same tactics against Arsenal that they're going to use against us tomorrow. And it is because Leno and De Gea are not good distributors of the ball that you will see a press where they go man for man in the middle third, and De Gea will be asked to boot it long. A huge amount of the transitions and the turnovers in the first Brentford game was the result of that tactic to force De Gea to go long. He doesn't. He's a good shot stopper. He's all right at 1v1s. Terrible at commanding his box, but he will invite a huge amount of pressure onto us tomorrow. So please don't, sort of think that he's going to save us, because he does add to our problems.
Okay.
But Darius, do you know what? He doesn't
Yeah.
give the ball out to defenders anymore. He doesn't trust those defenders in front of him at all, Darius. It does not at all. I don't blame you. I wouldn't trust them one iota. None of them.
It's funny because when I look at our best goalkeeper when it comes to distribution, a lot of people are going to say Dean Henderson, of course, who hasn't seen a sniff of the pitch, pretty much all season. Our U23 goalkeeper, I don't know if you guys saw the clip that came from, he's our U23 or U18 keeper. There's a clip from that came out where, without taking a touch first time, he hits the ball, crosses body, and pings it to the right back, who's about 20 yards in front of the box, wide open, and hits him right to his foot. And I'm just sitting there going, well, why can't De Gea do that once or twice a game? Why can't we see De Gea do that?
And De Gea last season, De Gea had a 46% win rate average, and Henderson had 75%. I agree with Paddy that there might is De Gea sort of treats himself as separate to the back four instead of sort of viewing it as a back five, like as a defensive unit. And there does appear to be a huge amount of confidence loss between. I think it's quite well established. Maguire and doesn't want De Gea in the team, and De Gea probably doesn't want
Maguire.
Sorry.
De Gea and Maguire do not get along.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I don't blame him. What would you do if you had an idiot in front of the in the defence who's just dreadful? What do you do? It just drains your confidence as a goalkeeper, because you're going, you're busy all game, aren't you? Really, aren't you?
Have you always?
I think the only one that he trusts is Ron.
Sorry, Connor. Have you always disliked Maguire as a defender, Paddy? Like even last season?
You're right. I haven't. I thought when we bought him, I thought he was good. Okay. And I thought, he played for England, great. I was really, because he's Leicester. He's up here. He's not far from here. And Leicester loved him up there when he was playing for Leicester in that winning side. But I just United is like those. I've seen them players in the past come to United. They're just not. It gets too big for them. The club gets too big for them, and it goes into them, and they lose their way. And I don't think they can ever get it back. That's my only point on that, Darius.
Yeah. So do you think it was like? I think that everyone would agree that last season Luke Shaw and Maguire played at a level that's acceptable for Manchester United. They were they were in the top 3 or 4 players in the country, in the world, at their position, right? Do you think then, Paddy, and for Connor and for people in chat, that might just have been like a purple 6-7 months for Maguire and Shaw, or can we get them back to that level?
Not for Shaw. Shaw has got this interesting thing where it seems like every other year he's a different player. Because we saw when, and I'm not. Yeah. Please provide where I'm wrong, because he comes and he's in the player that he's in the team of the season when he first comes to United. Yeah. Next year he has this big ass leg break where he nearly lost his leg. And it was gone. Next year he comes back, he's decent. Mourinho comes in, he's shite. Mourinho leaves, he ends up playing pretty decently, and then last year he plays amazing. This year he comes off of England losing and has picked up. I think the biggest thing that's hurt Shaw this year is he just can't stay fit. When he can stay fit for a full season, he's a different player. But it's when he hits injuries during the course of the year that I think when he can't get consistent games and can't be healthy all year is when he starts to have his form drop like it has this year.
I just don't like Shaw or Maguire. I don't think they're ready for. They're not Man United FC standard. That's it. Sorry.
Yeah.
But the thing with it though, right? I'm gonna say for me, Maguire. From the day we saw Maguire, I never rated Maguire. I didn't rate him as a centre back. I've never have rated Maguire as a centre back. But because he plays for Man United, you've got to support him. I was only convinced back end of last season. I was only convinced back end of last season by on Monday about apparently sort of he was doing well, and without him, if we had him, would we have won the Europa League? We probably would have. We probably would. I'm not saying we would have, but we probably stand a better chance. But when it comes to Luke Shaw, though, I think Luke Shaw, with a good coach, I think Luke Shaw still got the potential to probably be one of the best left back in world football. He still got it, but he just need the right coach at the club to take.
He has to prove it next year because Ten Hag's been given the go ahead that if a person's not willing to conform to a system, he's not playing well. It doesn't matter who it is in the entire squad. He is allowed to sell them. That's come out now that the board has given him permission to sell whoever the hell he wants as long as they're not doing what he says. And so it's going to be a good amount of players who maybe want to do their own thing or maybe aren't going to be super happy with how Ten Hag plays football compared to how they want to play it, that are going to see their way out of this, not only out of the way of the first team squad, but out of the team and completely.
Yeah. Anything? Yeah, I've gone. But I'm gone. Paddy, do you want to say something?
I want ruthlessness, and I've said this for weeks and weeks.
Yeah.
I want pure ruthlessness, and I mean it. That's what I want. What Guardiola did to Joe Hart. By the way, I've just joined, but by the way, you won't be my keeper this next season. Okay. Oh, what? I mean, I remember that. I remember that news. Went, my God, it's coming straight away. He's only been there about a few days. I want that. That's what I want. That's what I want. That's my personal view.
I get it. I get it completely. And for me, funny enough, I'm going to mention one player who I think actually would do not too bad still if he was still at this club. And he was sold a couple of days after we brought in Ronaldo. That's Daniel James. I honestly believe with how he's played at Leeds, finally getting the freedom that he wanted and being able to play in a style that fits how he plays as a winger, he's been a lot better than we saw him at United. Not only that, he wasn't terrible at United. He just kind of, I think he was an average player in a bad team. And in a system, I see a system like Ten Hag's where he likes inverted wingers, people that are going to be on the left or the right and cut in on their strong foot. Daniel James to a freaking T is that he's a right-footed left winger. That's how he's always been. And that's what we've been asking for. I'm not saying we bring him in, oh my gosh, he's going to start over Sancho, or if we bring in Antony, he's going to start over Antony or Rashford. But I would love to still have him here just as a squad player. And the funny thing is with Daniel James, you've never heard leaks from him. You never heard that he was complaining in the locker room. You never heard that he was going and complaining about playing time. He was so happy. It was kind of like a Gallo was. He was happy to be here. He was happy to just be a squad player. And he did a shift when he finally would get the chance. Both of them did. So that's someone who I honestly do rate, and I think would still be good if we had him. And I think Ten Hag would actually really like if he was still if we had him still here.
Yeah. So guys, if you're watching, please like, share, and subscribe. I'm gonna just get Connor to just go through some of these comments. Connor, you can take it from the top. You got the pressure now. What I'd say is just chunky comments, I'd say, and we can answer some of them, but we're just trying to read through them just to get the guys involved in the comments as well.
Yeah. All right, put the comments up and I'll read them.
Oh, okay. All right, I can do that. Bad eyesight, you see.
Matthew Bassett says, hope all is well with everyone. Ajmal says hello. Ola Kunle says good evening. First, let's cut all this talk about top four. Focus on Europa Conference League. Bill says ciao TMUA. Pat Lawless, longtime fan. Good to see him in the chat. It's good evening to the TMUA family. I feel weird saying that. That last word doesn't feel right coming out of my mouth. Ola Kunle asks, hello, TalkMU. Nearly missed the show if I hadn't seen Solo post on Facebook. Good. MUFC Old School says, all right, lads, up the Reds.
Got a newbie here.
Oh, newbie Jijen FD says, Tolong Ban. I'm going to hope I pronounced any of that right. MUFC Old School says, if you watch Scott in the Academy, he was a great dribbler and played a lot further forward, which he was right because he was a striker in the Academy. Rebels, a man of the show, man of the family, says, got to be concerned about the way Tony is going to be dealt with our center backs. Fully agree. Matthew Bassett says, I'm dreading Tony and Mbembo against our shambles of the defense. Stu82, good to see you back again. So should have sorted our midfield out. We had years been neglected. McFred are backup, not first choice midfielders. And Jordan says, hey, solo, bro.
From Jamaica.
From Jamaica.
Yep, from Jamaica. Yeah, Liverpool fan as well. Notice there's a few Liverpool fans in the chat today.
They love to be in the chat. They love to talk with the United fans because of where they're at right now. If it was 10 years ago, it'd be a different story.
They still need to compare everything they do to United. That's how they view us. We're still the biggest.
It's the same thing with City. Everybody, it's funny. Everybody in the Premier League compares how their success is compared to where United is at the moment. We're always who's compared to.
There's only one club in Manchester, Man United, and that is it. That is the end of it.
Sue says McTominay box to box will be okay as a backup and all like others and players we had. Fletcher was a great midfielder. Don't think you can compare McTominay because he's from the academy. You need to be honest. And there are comparisons that has actually mainly come from Sir Alex, but I can kind of agree. And she also says we can't have Big Fred in the midfield anymore. Needs to end all Man United problems are the midfield. No decent midfielders since Carrick and Herrera, to be honest.
Yeah,
I never rated Carrick.
And see, I loved Carrick.
I love Carrick.
I love
a lot of United fans did not like Carrick. I remember being at the stadium and about half of it wanted him out of the team because he was he was slow, he was lazy, and he didn't get stuck in enough.
It's interesting though.
Don't put Carrick as this amazing standard of the greatest defensive midfielder.
I'm not saying he's the greatest, but he was phenomenal. There were issues, but he was very, very good.
Yeah,
he was a good passer. Good passer.
He was a good shooter as well.
He was one of the
great players as well.
That's Roma.
Yeah. And then so Bill says Shaw been here 8 bloody years and had a good 6 months in that time.
I don't disagree with Bill. I know what you were saying, Connor, but I sort of feel that Shaw's had a good 14 months over 7 years at United. But I think coaching is important. Mourinho used to say he had no brain and that he used to have to tell him what to do on the pitch and stuff. So maybe Ten Hag can get something from him.
Yeah. UK Strange says we need a fresh team completely. Sue says Maguire is for back three and low block. We are too progress, not good enough, too slow. Fridge for a season. LOL. Up our standards big time. We're Man United. Come on, no second rate here.
Can I answer this? Can I answer that comment? Would you mind going back to it, Connor?
I'll do it.
I'm not in control of these. I'm just.
You're just a reader. Okay.
I'm just a reader here.
All right. So, Suze, I've seen this come up a huge amount that Maguire is too slow for a high line and can only play in a back three and a low block. I don't think that this is the case. The team that played one of the highest lines with the best presses in the Euros, for example, was Italy. Italy played Chiellini, who is probably one of the only defenders in world football that is slower. And his quality is an absolute superstar. Yeah. But we all saw what he did to Saka. He had to pull him down at the halfway line and stuff. Harry Maguire is at his best in a high line. The issue that we have with Manchester United is that Harry Maguire and De Gea are not compatible to play in the high line because there's too much space in behind. I think Maguire is a decent defender. In fact, I think he's a good defender. Is he going to get us back to the league title? I don't think so. But he can play in a high line, and I think it's unfair just to say that because someone's slow, they can't play in a high line. Otamendi does it for Benfica. Chiellini
we're going up against a guy who's not got speed at all. That's in the Brentford backline. That's Kjær who's come back, who scares me because I think he's a solid defender for them.
Sorry, who?
Is Kjær.
Is he fast, is he, or is he slow?
No, he's slow as shite, but he's a solid defender.
Yeah, okay. So that's all. Sorry, Suze, that's all I want to say. I wasn't trying to pick on you.
Here we go. We just got a few more.
Ajmal says, guys, I'm seeing Ralph getting all the blame this season and none on Ole by top journalists like Andy Mitten and I think that's because, unfortunately, for how bad we were with Ole, and we've been worse under Ralph, and that's not been Ralph's fault at all. Bill says, Shaw ain't got no brain. Only thing he uses his brain for is putting in his takeaway order. MEFC Old School says, we are everybody's cup final. When next season's fixtures come out, the first fixture they look for is when do we play United? And that's spot on.
100%.
Yeah.
And I love this comment because it's absolutely spot on. Carrick was never clever. He was clever, not Roy Keane. He was well positioned. He wasn't lazy.
He was lazy.
His passing was immense. Taking crap we got now. it's completely true. It's his best thing about Carrick was that he was always positioned perfectly. He was always just it kind of like Matic is when he's on top form. You just look at a pass and you're like, oh, he's already there. Never mind. Don't have to worry about it. And of course, Mr. Dreads himself on Monday says, Daddy Bear says someone's been sleeping in my bed. I'll big up the panel. I hope Errol invites me back someday.
Oh, brilliant. We've got
I did see something that Rebel said. And then Wes was spot on about De Gea. One thing that I saw by Rebel was that the recovery session after the Chelsea game apparently had to be canceled because of dressing room unrest. And that is concerning.
Yeah. Right, guys.
I wish they showed the fight on the pitch that they show in the dressing room.
Fight. So, guys, we're going to move on to the next one now. And if you're new to the channel, 14 in the chat, guys, hit that like. And if you're new, hit the subscribe button. And we're going to go through this one here. The threats for me, again, Eriksen's coming age 30 years old. Obviously, we know what happened with him in the Euros. I'm happy he is back though, because he's one of those players. We were linked with him a few years ago, but obviously he didn't choose to come to Manchester United instead. And Tony, what a phenomenal striker this young man is. He's come from literally, I've got here, there's about 7 clubs he was at before he actually got a proper decent run in. And he was at, what was it? I think he went Northampton, Newcastle. Then he was at Barnsley on loan for about 2 seasons. His best performance was 76 games he had for Peterborough with 40 goals. And then he went from there to Brentford. And this player has only cost, as a calculation, for all the clubs he's been to, a staggering 5.72 million. His net worth now is 31.5 million. So we're going to go and talk about Eriksen first before we go to Tony. So Eriksen, let's go to bath time. Eriksen, threat. What sort of threat do you think he posed? Because I can look at him again, player with not a lot of pace, but intelligence. He's got abundance of compared to a lot of our midfield players right now. And I think that's where the game for me against them will be either win or loss tomorrow. So let's go bath time. All
right. Well, the most obvious thing about Eriksen is his set piece delivery. That I would imagine that would be what would be extremely concerned about tomorrow. But he's also like, I'm going to say I watched 5 minutes of a Brentford game about an hour ago just to see how they were setting up. So I might have this wrong for all the Brentford experts out there. But he has changed how Brentford play, and it's got me slightly worried. Where used to have sort of like Tony and Mbeumo operating like on the same line as each other, with Mbeumo sort of like providing width and Tony as the outball. Tony is now occupying centre backs as high up the pitch as possible, so it means trying to get 2 versus 1 on him. And Eriksen is playing in the pocket. That means that Brentford are much more compact in the centre of the pitch, which is going to be a big problem for us. We need to match them across the midfield, or we're going to be giving up a huge amount of space to Eriksen, who has proven quality, and he'll be able to get it out to Mbeumo on the flanks. And at the moment, I think all of us we're not feeling good about our fullbacks, are we, boys?
No.
I know Paddy isn't. No, Connor, are you worried about Mbeumo possibly operating in half spaces against whatever Solo's put in his team?
See, I'm just worried about. See, I think this comment perfectly sums it up. Is I'm not worried about this. I mean, the newest comment by MEFC Old School. So I'm not worried about them too. I'm more worried about our 10 outfield players.
Well,
honest to God, dude, I'm more concerned about how our players will play, because how our players will play that kind of depicts, of course, on how well the team is going to do against us. Eriksen, I'm a massive fan. My dad's a Spurs fan, so my dad's a massive fan of Eriksen. But I'm also a rather big fan of him. I kind of see him a little bit as a Juan Mata in his how he kind of plays. Juan Mata's been the same way his entire career. Never had really that much pace, but very smart, very much a very high footballing IQ, knows how to be a very good playmaker. He did it for the Danish national team. And he's now come back to the Danish national team. Did it for Tottenham, did it for Inter. He knows how to control the game and really pick out passes. And then, of course, he's solid on his set pieces, which Juan Mata's always been known for hitting free kicks as well. It's the same with Eriksen. So, I mean, you have to be a little concerned about a guy like Eriksen. And I can see us going a little easy on it, but honestly, it's still the Premier League. I think if you're going to sign up to be in the Premier League, expect to get the same treatment as everybody else. Tony has me worried because there's only really one person I think that can absolutely control him, and that's Varane. I think Varane's the only one who I can rely on in our defense to be able to put up a fight against Tony. And so it's going to leave Mbemba to Maguire, which has me even more nervous.
Maguire won't be there. I don't believe Maguire's not fit for the game.
Yeah, I don't think. But even then you're having Lindelof, who Tony scares me against a guy like Lindelof because there's one thing that Lindelof is not good at. It's doing anything in the air.
Yep.
As soon as you see Lindelof try and contest with somebody, I mean, I think it was last season there was something where literally the guy went across him, grabbed Lindelof by the face, and just kind of threw him out of the way and then scored right in front of him on a header.
It's there's a couple of games. You had Wolves versus United last season where he got caught out, and then you had Crystal Palace as well where he got caught out as well for it. And I think I'm going to probably blame him in some way for the goal against Villarreal as well.
Yeah, he's terrible in the air. That's his one. Every player has a weakness, and for Varane, he is terrible in air.
Connor, he's another weakest link, isn't he? He is definitely. I'm sorry, I can't even.
We have. Our whole back line is the weakest link, except for Varane. I think I would be fine selling every single player in the back line. We were talking earlier about how Errol, you said that you've never been a fan of Maguire. I haven't been a fan of Bailly since even before he was bought. When we started being rumored with him, I'm like, why? Why purchase him?
Don't you think though, because under Ten Hag, I honestly think Bailly would be a really good fit, but
Bailly's rubbish. He can't stay fit.
It's his injury though. It's just his injury.
He's injury prone. When he's on the field, he's rubbish. There's a whole freaking account about him doing stupid shit on the field. Yeah. And he's one of those guys
for me.
He's very erratic. But one thing that I can't stand, I say this every single time, I hate players who let their family and agents talk. That's why I've always not been a fan of Pogba. Bailly last season, when he was possibly getting a contract extension, then he did get a new 2-year deal. He let his brother talk shit. He let his agent talk shit. He let his family start talking crap about the club. That is something that I cannot stand for, and I never want a player that's going to be allowing their family or friends to do that. If you play for a club, I don't care if you don't want to be there. You show respect, and you do not let your family talk crap
100%.
about the club that you play for. And it's disrespectful that he was still given a 2-year contract after saying all that crap. And along with him being made of glass and being erratic, I think that's why he should be sold. He should have been sold in January. Have we seen him play for us? How much has he played?
He's been signed a new contract. He's only played 2 games, featured 2 games.
Exactly. And everybody's going,
and then he got injured in the second one.
Why give him a chance? But he's rubbish.
Yeah.
He's absolute rubbish.
Sorry,
I tell you what. None of these players would get in the top 2 teams in the Premiership at the moment.
No chance. It wouldn't even be
I
in the
know
squad.
what you guys are saying, but under a good coach, I think some of these players can. It's just this whole burden of Manchester United.
Bailly came back from an injury last year and then crashed his car in Carrington. I'm sorry. You come back from an injury and then you go right back out with an injury because on day 1 of you being back in training, you crash your car.
I mean, Bruno's crashed his car. We employ footballers, not drivers. But
that's a good point.
Bruno can't take a corner either on the pitch or in his car.
I will say that's one thing. That's one thing that Luke Shaw can do. Luke Shaw's probably our best corner taker at the moment. And Garner, funny enough, is probably the best one in the squad. When Garner comes back, Garner's phenomenal.
All right, Connor, can I just stop you there? You said earlier, right, that you thought that Varane was our best option to deal with Tony.
Yes.
I'd be interested in solo comments, Paddy, what they say about that, because I don't think that Varane is particularly physical or good at duels. That he worries me more than Lindelof, to be honest. In this case,
I got my jury's out on him. I don't know why my jury's out on him. I know he's playing Real Madrid. I'm wondering why Real Madrid got rid of him so easily.
It's his first season.
I'll respond to this once you guys are done.
Go on.
Trust me,
I want to know.
I've never rated Wan-Bissaka at all.
Solo, what do you think to Varane in terms of his physicality for dealing with a physical player like Ivan Toney?
I think he can cope with it. I believe he can cope with it. My issue is it's not just about the one player for me at Man United. It's about this as a unit. When you defend in a unit together. You don't defend as an individual. It all depends on how they're communicating with each other at the back line. So we're talking about five players communication here. So we're talking from the goalkeeper to the back four on communicating with each other and who's getting who and who's picking who's man. Now, again, we can sit there and we can talk. I watched like Liverpool yesterday and I watched Man City yesterday on the highlights. And from what I gather, and I look at their back line when I'm watching them, is basically how sort of tight they are to each other and how sort of like when you see the overlap happening, all of a sudden you see someone then filling that gap for them. So my concern tomorrow is I don't think it's... I'm not concerned with Varane in that details. It's the concern of the back four. Now we're talking about him coming from Real Madrid. Look at Bailly. Bailly's the same. He's the same. Man United, the way the club's been run with the direction, I don't know how the Glazer was going and Ed Woodward was going, but if you look at the direction it was, we bought two players who are known for injuries, but yet we went and bought these players. I think it was 2 or 3 million. So we paid 3 million less for the asking price for Bailly because the report came back to say, but he constantly get injured. So Thingy turned around, his club turned around and said, all right, we'll knock off 3 million for you. Real Madrid did the same thing. Rather than paying sort of like the 27 million, we only paid, I think, 24 million for him.
Is Varane's injuries you're talking about and Bailey?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, both their injuries. So we buy players at cut price because of Man United want them rather than going out and actually like doing the proper check on players to make sure they're not actually injured players with buying.
So are you saying you wouldn't have taken Varane in the summer because of his injury record?
I wouldn't. No, wouldn't.
And I'll respond real quick to Ola Kunle. It's not that I don't think that Bailly's a decent center back, but as I said, if you can't see fit on the pitch, I don't want you. And if you are going to disrespect the club that you're at, there's no reason for you to be here.
Yeah.
End of.
So, quick one, guys. So we're sort of going to move on now. So, Connor, would you mind just hitting some of these comments? I've highlighted this bits I would like you to go through quickly.
Jago Manchester says, Jamaica in the house, big up, guys.
Big up. So this one here, we're going to start from
OMONDI says, Ericsson always rises to the occasion. He's not wrong. Ola Kunle says, Brentford will beat United. Tommy will do well at United. They should buy him. And I honestly am not too far off of that. Sue says, Carrick lazy, Berbatov, people said lazy. Look at Rashford sulking lazy, getting 37-year-old Ronaldo doing his running. All I have to say. Bill says, Ericsson gets stuck in as well, a proper number 10.
Wholehearted.
Amandi says, we played against a 65-year-old man today in Sunday League and we took it easy on him. I think the same applies to Ericsson. People won't go in hard on him. I think you go easy on a 65-year-old until he starts scoring goals and then you go 2 foot. MUFC Old School says, not worried about them too. I'm more worried about the 10 outfield players. Sue says, thanks, guys. Good show.
This is a question.
100% no.
100% would. I'll take him. I'll take him all day long.
His
all day
attitude towards Brentford is disgusting. I've seen, like, for a bit of, like, sort of bath time lore, my mate's from Peterborough, and when he got married, we went to, like, a stag do in Peterborough, which is, don't go Peterborough, lads. Just don't go. But
I went to America, so I don't have any chance to.
Yeah, well, I went to London Road to watch Tony play, and I thought, like, this is an absolutely cracking player. And so I took a slight interest in him. And about a month later, he got linked to Spurs before he went to Newcastle. And he said that he wasn't going to Spurs because he couldn't get Kane out of the team, which all seems fine. But the fact that it's all about him, like his comments about Brentford as a football club that have given him this platform to perform on, they're up there with like Pogba's sort of like comments about United. I don't want a character like that anywhere near our club. As a player, I think he's a bit archaic. Good player, useful, bit of a battering ram. He's not a United player. He's not United character. I don't want him anywhere near our team, and I hate his manager. Death to them. No. Sorry, death to that idea. So let's kill that idea.
I agree with that. I'll tell you one thing. I don't think he's not the standard for United. What is it? I've looked at his 29 appearance. Is it 12 goals this season, 4 assists.
16 goals and assists.
That's not lit up the world, really. I mean, he's had
And you know what, as well? I know what you're saying, Paddy, but who's our top scorer this season?
Ronaldo.
Who's second?
Bruno?
Huh? Yeah, how much
Oh,
has Bruno
Green-
got this season? Greenwood. Not Green. Is it? No, Green. Is it Green? No, Bruno. Bruno second, I think. How many?
Is he? With how many? 8?
Okay, I'll have a look, double check it, guys, in the comments. But what I've got here, Bruno's only scored 7 goals this season.
I know what you're saying. I just don't think he wouldn't be good enough for United. No way. I'm looking for better.
It doesn't matter if the quality. The fact is, the quality isn't what we should be shooting for.
Yeah, I agree.
For if we're trying to revolutionize the squad and make it a top 4 team again, Tony is not the striker for it.
The standard needs to be higher.
Yeah.
It's like with Maguire. We bought even though he was a champion, Maguire was not United standard even when we bought him, especially for 80 mil.
Jesus Christ. What I've got to say to you quickly, Connor, is just go through the comments. Right now, where I am, there's about 19 other comments underneath it, but we're not going to go through all of them. So we'll just get the comments through.
Omondi says battle time is right, and Bembo is a danger in half space. Space will hurt us, especially the way he is so disorganized at the moment, conceding goals of late with goals exploiting that space. Tellez. Exclamation marks on Tellez being a problem, definitely.
Then old school here.
I rate by he's just made a glass, and that's what I'm saying. I don't think he's a terrible player. He's just made a glass. Eddie the Eye Candy says greetings to the TMUA panel and everyone in the chat.
Guys, I'm missing some of your chat. This new to the channel as well. Welcome to the channel.
Yeah.
Matancho Safarov says Man U 0, Brentford 0, and I'd be shocked.
Yeah.
I've done this one, I think.
Joel's in the building. James is in the building. Hold on, let's go. Eddie. Eddie's in the building quickly.
Bailly ain't rubbish, a bit rash and injury prone. He's better than slap it. It's better than slap it if he can stay fit and not talk shit, but
No managers ever sort of played him though consistently, have they? At
because he's
United?
not stayed fit consistently. He's played 82 games since he's come to the club.
And then this one here from
James says, guys, big up. James from Armory TV here. I'm looking forward to seeing how Ten Hag improves your team because I think players like Wan-Bissaka and Maguire will be back to their best.
Wind up.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. I'm just knocking. Guys, I'm missing lots of comments. There's so many.
Yahuza says, big up to y'all. I really love your show. Watching all the way from Ghana. Big up Ghana.
Big up Ghana.
Yeah, but definitely.
Amani says, hold on. Isn't Tony in the mode of the big striker at Ajax banging goals? I honestly think that Haller is a better player than Tony. Yeah, I think honestly Haller is a better player than Tony, though. That's the thing. Suze says overpriced English players need to stop. Little gems we need. Cheap European up and coming.
So, guys, we're going to move on now to the next topic because this is literally we're going through. Wow. So, guys, now we're going to go through Manchester United. And we are going to talk about Manchester United threat. The only threats we're going to have is there's one guy's back, apparently, and that's Fred.
Yes.
Fred is back. Celebration, guys. Get the popcorn out and everything because he's back. Fred is back.
I bet you we start McFred this next. I know Susan's going to hate this, but I bet you we start McFred tomorrow because of the fact that both of them are back.
They're both back. They're both
back now.
No comment.
They're both back.
I hate that Sancho's apparently out for the year. It's going to be a big miss.
Well, yeah.
He's out for a year.
He's out for the year with tonsillitis because his tonsillitis
for the
is
season.
take a couple weeks.
For the season, yeah.
Because we only have a couple more. We only have 2 games left, and he's going to be out for both of them because of the tonsillitis.
My heart's in my throat after hearing that. I thought
It's going to be Rashford and Alonga for the rest of the year, bud.
We've got 2 games left. 3 games now left anyway.
Games left after tomorrow. Like 3 games, something like that left. So, guys, we're gonna go through now Manchester United. We'll go through like the injury first, and then I'll go through my team predicted lineup as well. So obviously we know we got no Luke Shaw. He's out for the rest of the season. Pogba, we're not going to see Pogba again in a Man United shirt, I don't believe. Love the guy to bits, but yeah, it is what it is, to be honest with you.
See the back of them.
Yeah, well, yes or no, maybe not. The thing for me now going through tomorrow, and it's proven over the last few weeks, I know some people in the comments might not agree with me. I know Paddy's shaking his head earlier regarding Fred, but for me, Fred coming back, and I heard something that Ranić said the other day, like about 100% Fred will not come back unless he's 100% a lot of players, like when I look at players like Harry Maguire have come back from injury, not 100% for Manchester United, and create a lot of problems for Manchester United. Again, it's the same thing, bath time, what you said earlier. Harry Maguire was injured and apparently he declared himself fit sort of like 24 hours before the kickoff against Brentford. And then what did he do? He came on as a sub, and yeah, the rest is history, really. Conceded a goal straight away. But with Fred coming back, I think that sort of, for the rest of the season, we are right now, we still got a glimmer. When I mean a glimmer, I mean we're clutching on straws right now to get into this top 4. Something got to happen massively for us to get into this
I think
top
someone
4.
said that it's mathematically ruled out now. It's mathematically ruled out now. I think that we can get it. That we can get it.
Is it mathematically ruled out?
Let me look it up here.
I think there might be one. I think we would have to win all our games, and something would have to happen to Tottenham and Arsenal.
Arsenal and Tottenham would both have to lose. I think they'd have to all. Yeah, maybe Tottenham and Arsenal would have to lose all their games. We'd have to win all of ours.
Yeah, Arsenal got 2 games in hand anyway over us, and they're in form, both clubs, aren't they? Well, Tottenham slightly not at the moment, but Arsenal are, aren't they?
Well, yeah, they are.
I was really hoping that
games.
Chelsea surprisingly lost as well, and that's a big.
The problem is the problem with it's at Everton, and Everton's been really good at home this season. In their last,
I will say what does make it good is that Liverpool, Tottenham's got Liverpool tomorrow. That's the first. So if we can take down Brentford, then we're only 3 points off Tottenham.
Slim. So guys, let's kickstart. Bath time. Manchester United threats for the game tomorrow. Who is it? Obviously, we know it's going to be Ronaldo, but can you see any surprises at all?
What, in terms of like who we play or where the goal?
Well, not surprise. Who's going to actually turn up?
Who's going to turn up? Well, I don't like Fred and Matic. I'm sorry. All right. So who's going to turn up? I think Scott McTominay has got to turn up. He's since the Manchester City game, I've been a bit disappointed with Scott. I think he's been. I don't think he's been fit, but against a physical midfield, I expect him to run through it like Godzilla again. Ronaldo, obviously, but I think we might see a bit of Mata tomorrow, and I also think we're going to see a bit of Phil Jones, which will infuriate Paddy. I can see the. Look at this amateur dramatics starting. I think that we're going to win tomorrow, and I think it's going to be our physical players that will do it. So I'm looking at Ronaldo, Alanga, McTominay, and just for a bit of fun, I think Phil Jones.
Bring Phil Jones.
Will carry a threat. Yeah, bring me Phil Jones. I'll bring you victory.
There you go. Paddy?
Back to normal.
You've got to have some faith. Come on, Paddy.
Thank you to my right honourable friend, part-time. Basically, the threats are, I think Ronaldo will probably turn up again. I think if they give him a lot of respect and room tomorrow, Brentford will pay dearly with Ronaldo tomorrow. But what I understand from the Match TV News, and I read earlier, is that they might give Alvarez, Fernandez, Hannibal, and Garancha tomorrow night, so that'll be interesting. So and you're right, but I'm going back to Fred as well. By the way, I don't want to be too hard. He does give 100%. I do. I just don't see him as our long-term midfield.
No one sees pretty much anybody in this team as a long-term solution.
I just don't want to be too hard on him. That's what I'm saying. So, but I can see us. I can see us winning tomorrow. I can see Ronaldo possibly doing it again because he's in form at the moment, and and I can see Brentford giving him loads of room tomorrow. And I just hope we don't give a lot of space to what we did at Chelsea to Brentford tomorrow, because they will punish us as well after what happened on the last game. So that's what I see. That's my concern at the moment.
And go to Yankee Talking Smack.
I'm going to say this until it happens, and I think Hannibal will score tomorrow.
Ooh.
I've been watching the Academy for the last 3 years, like every single game I've watched of the Academy. And Hannibal has actually been the one that has impressed me the most over Charlie McNeil and Shola Shoretira and all the players we have in the Academy right now. Hannibal's been phenomenal, and I do think he's going to score before the end of the year.
Wow. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I honestly think tomorrow for me, I'm going to be trying to watch out for Fred. I always do try to watch Fred because he does get a lot of criticism by a lot of people, and there's other players on the pitch that needs to get probably more so than he does. But at the same time, for me, I do believe we will get a victory tomorrow. Honestly, believe we will. I have done my team prediction, so that's going to come next, guys. So if you wouldn't mind doing your team prediction for tomorrow's game, I haven't put any surprises in whatsoever, but I think there might be one or two in the team lineup tomorrow. And guys, again, against Chelsea, Mata came on. How good was he? Why Mata ain't been playing?
Fantastic.
Mata's fantastic when he can only play about 30, 40 minutes, but it's also, I think, because he's on his way out as well. He stayed. A lot of people said the rumor was when he signed his 1-year extension was he stayed because Ole was going to help him get his coaching badges, so he could stay with the club while he got his coaching badges.
Friends United. Yeah,
I love Juan Mata.
I think it's quality.
He used to be a good player. He used to be.
Yeah, he came on and he showed how you should be playing for Manchester United, like against Chelsea.
He's another example of a guy who never been a problem in the locker room as well. Just been an absolute top-class professional in the locker room. You never hear a bad word about him.
And he's from Oviedo.
It'd be great in your five-a-side team. It'd be fantastic in your five-a-side team.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. No, I do rate Matt. I think Mata is brilliant. I think he's very underrated by a lot of managers we've had at the club. I think LVG, when LVG was there, he tried to fit him into the system, but I think LVG played him on the right. Well, he played him on the right, didn't he? Really?
Yeah, he killed him being on the right. He's not got pace.
Yeah. So, but yeah, you know what? Though that goal he scored against Liverpool was fantastic. Though that was a really.
I mean, Juan Mata is Juan Mata. He's just he oozes class. I mean, in everything he does on and off the pitch, he oozes class.
I reckon, and I will say it now. I reckon if he was at Liverpool or Man City, he would be playing in the first team. I honestly believe that.
It's funny because I have Solo for you. I have the top scorers and the top assisters for United this year. Because I know you were talking about that earlier.
Yeah,
and it is Bruno in second on 9. What worries me even more than that is our top assister in the team, Pogba on 9, who had 7 in 4 games. And
I think Pogba's staying.
No, he's not. He's already.
I think he's staying.
No, he said he's gone.
No, I think he's going to sign the contract. I think with the unfortunate news of Mino Raiola, I think with Bruno's price hike, randomly giving him a huge contract as well. I'm getting increasingly worried.
$450K a week, and I want him out. I don't want 450,000 a week.
I agree.
Yeah, I don't want him to stay. I think Pogba has been like a postmodern footballer. He's hardly played. He's done nothing. Good-looking lad, lots of skills. Don't want him at the club.
God, when he had those 7 assists in 4 games, we were all like, yes, please stay. And then, of course, injuries not turning up, right back to the old same.
To be honest, though, I would prefer him on the left wing to Rashford.
I think a lot of people prefer anybody to Rashford at the moment, but that's...
Again, let's throw in the comments as well, and throw it to you guys as well, before we move on to my team lineup under the Premier League. If Ten Hag come in, what if Ten Hag have a word with Pogba and just say, Pogba, you stay and I'll build a team around you?
I'd say Ten Hag out.
I can't do Pogba anymore, man. I can't put up with it.
We have to move on from these players.
Yeah.
We have to move on. Ten Hag has to put his own these standard players that he wants.
Pogba staying or going is like Wesley Sneijder and Sergej Milinkovic-Savic coming in. It's just time to kill off the rumors and just let it go.
I think 12 times right. I think Pogba. I read it today. I saw a snippet and I just looked at it, glanced at it. He is being offered and he could take it. He might be right.
Worries me. It's like it's a sort of a fear. It's like like when you go out and you think, have I left a tap on? That's how I kind of feel about Pogba with this contract. Like, it's when Matt Judge left, did he just suddenly think, oh no, I've left the contract still in the dressing room, and Pogba's going to sign it? But the other thing is about Pogba is that, as some of you might have known, I've done the world's most boring video on Ten Hag's tactics. It's over an hour, and I can't see where Pogba would play in that system, with the exception of possibly at right back. I can see
he's not wrong. I have a whole Google Docs on his tactics, and I was looking at it going, And there's some players that aren't going to fit in his system at all.
No,
Exactly.
but there are some players that could do well. But I think that's
Phil
probably a
Jones.
future show. Yeah, I
No.
think Phil Jones is starting
No.
tomorrow, Solo. So show me your team.
Yeah,
Let's
Okay,
see.
guys,
my
get
team.
your
I
team
like
prediction.
my
So
team
before we
that
do it-
I have a team
Wait,
I
wait,
want. I have a team that I
before-
expect.
Before we do it, quick one. We're gonna just get you to go through. We have got a few people in, so I'm not
Okay.
gonna go all the way back up. Let's go from here.
Don't play Rashford. Send him on a holiday now. Bring him back with Ten Hag. Be last chance saloon for him then. And if you want someone who will do that, that's Ten Hag. Actually, Ten Hag's done that with Onana at the moment. MEFC Old School says Fred, my man.
Always has been with him. With
Um,
Kieran.
Pat Lawless has smashed the like button. Definitely smash the like button. Suze says Rashford, Maguire, send on holiday now. Bring back with Ten Hag. Waste your time for them now. Matthew says more chance of winning the lottery than getting top 4.
Yeah.
MEFC Old School says Champions League money will go straight in the Glazers' pocket, so every cloud has a silver lining.
MR, big up.
Says give Fred the freedom up front. He's going to assist Ronaldo.
Yes. Listen, skill of the season goes to Fred, yeah, guys.
Yes,
Remember.
yes. Imagine like sort of unlocking Ronaldo by giving Fred a free roll. What's it come to?
Bro, you have to give Fred. I will say this: whoever gave Fred his Brazilian passport back in like a January or mid-February, thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
Olukunle says Scott is stealing a living as a pro.
No.
Scott's a modern day Vinny Jones with less football talent.
Yes, Suze.
And then Sue says Mata give him a game, prefer him over Bruno at the moment.
100% agree with that as well.
Mata getting on, but can keep hold of the ball, makes a change from this slot, and that's very true. That's one thing we do struggle with. Matthew Bassett says Pogba doesn't fit into a Ten Hag system, and he's completely right.
Big up Luca.
He looks so handsome
Lucas
in
is
that
bigger.
profile picture. Luke.
Yeah, Luca. Yeah. Top
It's a
guy.
really
top
nice
guy.
photo.
I prefer Piles over seeing Pogba. Olukunle says if Sear hit 37 leads, then I'd be 85% that Pogba will be offered more than what Sanchez got, which is 650K a week, as Glazers will be pissed with drop on social media figures, and that's sad that he's right.
That's 30 million a season, 650k a week. That can't
Yeah.
happen.
Emma says you fire the guy that writes the contracts, and surely unsigned contracts are removed and not valuable. And that is very true. Once you fire somebody who has been writing the contracts, all contracts drop off the table.
Right. Matthew Bassett just put something in. I'm just trying to get the Matthew Bassett one. Oh, so we start talking about teams. So this is Matthew Bassett's team. De Gea. Oh.
I have a team that I expect, and I have a team that I want on the side. And there's a difference. There's a team that I would prefer, and there's a team that I expect.
Right. So this is my team lineup. So let's get you
Okay.
guys in the picture. So guys, any changes there at all? Let's go with bath time first. Or sorry, go Paddy. Paddy, you go first.
No, I see that team starting tomorrow. Actually, I do. But I'm just wondering, from what I've read on the Manchester Evening News tonight, is there going to be is going to show or the Hannibal going to be starting or Fernandez going to be starting in this lineup with 3 of these players coming out? I don't know, but that's the team I'd start tomorrow night. Yeah.
Go to Yankee Talking Smack.
I mean, that's the team I'd start tomorrow. But for me, the team I want, just because I like playing the youth, I'd put Fernandez and Vertel as a left back. I'd have Mata instead of Bruno. I'd bring Charlie Savage up into the first team because I'm a huge fan of Charlie Savage instead of McTominay, and then I'd put Garancho on the left instead of Rashford.
Wow. Bath time.
I think, Solo, that's quite a sensible team you've put out. But I would want a completely different team with a different formation. Well, I would play 3 at the back against Brentford because I'm worried about the physicality of our centre-backs against Ivan Toney. And
I'm worried about our fullbacks more than our centre-backs, though.
All of them.
All of them.
Yeah. But so I want Phil Jones in the team with Varane and Lindelof. I would want... I think you've done a good call here, Solo, by not having Matic and Fred in the team because you've got to assume
Fred's in the team.
Yeah, well, yeah, but you've got to assume that Fred is not going to last the whole match. Like
and
he's,
yeah,
and Matic couldn't last it.
Yeah.
Sorry?
Yeah, Matic ain't gonna last it.
Matic is starting tomorrow solo. I'm sure he is. What I read today.
He
I
won't
I
start.
think I would actually
That's
play
3
Matic,
games in a
Fred.
row for Matic. Matic ain't playing.
Bro, I've seen Fernandinho scored a goal today.
Yeah, that's
I think that
Fernandinho. There's difference.
He's cracked.
Fernandinho's still
He's
got a bit
cracked.
some pace.
yeah, but he's older than Matic.
Yeah, but he looks like he can run. He's got energy. He can run.
Matic can run. I've seen Matic run down our Alan St. Maximum this season. Believe it or not, it actually happened.
I've seen the clip of that, actually. I'll back him up. I've seen the clip of that.
Yeah, it did happen.
Fernandinho's in a great team, though, isn't he? He really is. He's
Yeah,
excelling
he is,
in a great team.
Yeah, I tell you, who impressed me today was Aki. I thought he was good for Man City. I'd like a player like that.
Yeah.
But I want Phil Jones to play. I want Mata to play. I don't want Rashford to play. So I would, and also the reason why that I want the sort of setup like that is I'm very, very concerned with how we set up, because Bruno is not going to play in that position if he starts. Like, you might have him there on the telly and on the screen, but he's going to play as a second striker. Rashford isn't going to do much work. Alanga does work, but doesn't really have quality on the ball for me. So what we're doing once again is giving up the whole of the pitch to another team and just having Fred and McTominay and Solo. Me and you are the Fred and McTominay of this channel, right?
Yeah.
Like, we're brilliant, but they're not good enough to hold the entire pitch. So I think we need more bodies in the centre of that pitch, and we need them around Tony to fight for second balls and to deny Eriksen. And unfortunately, we have to give up space out on the flanks for it. So I think if you put a 4-3-3 with those players out against Brentford, I think that we don't win.
I get exactly what you're saying with it, because it's the midfield stretch, and you saw that against Chelsea, you saw that against Liverpool, you saw that against Man City. Is there any other game I can name where sort of like the midfield to the defense looks so stretched? And part of it as well, I know a lot of people rate talk. There's loads of rubbish. You want to delete it coming up. Basically, what it is, it's you have the midfield to sort of the defense, to the goalkeeper, but the gap that you find, those pockets of spaces, Eriksen's going to pick up all these little pockets tomorrow against us and absolutely destroy us with it, because he's literally, we had Thiago against Liverpool the other day. It was like men versus boys. It's like he took the candy off the kids. That's how bad that's how he was against us. It was ridiculous how good he was. And tomorrow, that's the problem with Man United. If we don't get the midfield right, like what you're saying, Bathtime, I probably agree with you, playing sort of like with a 3 at the back and pulling Bruno away, because the way I look at Bruno's a luxurious player. That's the thing, is luxury. Bruno doesn't track back. Bruno doesn't. A lot of people say, oh, yeah, he does. He presses. But Bruno doesn't press compact together. He doesn't press it. Bruno presses on his own. So he doesn't utilize the other bodies around him to sort of like, right, guys, we're going to press or something like that. When you watch Liverpool and you watch Man City and even Arsenal, when you look at sort of like the front 3 players, they constantly pressing the ball constantly. With Man United and with especially Bruno Fernandes, Alanga picked up the other day with him as well about how he's pressing. He's sort of like, the goalkeeper will have the ball, rather than sort of like trying to press higher up the pitch. He sort of stands there. He doesn't sort of do much at all. But I don't know if that's just me looking at it, because what I'm trying to do now...
Alanga doesn't curve his runs because he's very inexperienced. Like, there are ways of pressing. Like, I agree with you. Bruno is fantastic in 5th gear, but he doesn't have reverse. Like, you see him legging it after a goalkeeper, like my dog chasing a stick. And then, like, you're like, where's he gone? Like, he's not come back into the middle. And I think your point about how the lines between the midfield and the defence have got to be more compact, because we're playing against, like, Eriksen, who is a good number 10. He's gonna find those pockets, the more stretched the spaces between those lines. And Tony is a physical threat that I think we know he can dominate Lindelof. I don't think anyone's got an issue with that. I think he can dominate Varane, and like, So what we're probably going to see is we're probably actually going to see Scott McTominay playing extremely deep in front of Lindelof to help out with that ball. And then Fred and Bruno playing so much higher up the pitch under Ralph. I think that we're just going to see an enormous gap in the middle of the pitch. And Rashford and Langer are not the men to fill that gap. So I'm now really worried that not only is Pogba staying, but we're just going to have an awful performance tomorrow. Paddy, what do you reckon?
Yeah, I agree with you. I totally agree with you. I am worried, but we're not chasing the. I watched Chelsea that we didn't chase the players down. We didn't chase after the players. There was no fight. I hope that doesn't happen tomorrow either, because we're not chasing players down. You know, by getting closer to them, and that's why there's so much space being generated, because we weren't closing players down. Isn't it? I don't know if you agree with me on that, Bathton.
Well, I think it's different, isn't it? Because like when we play a mid block, like what we're doing is we're trying to keep space in between the lines, and we're trying to keep the ball in the area that poses the least danger to us. So what you don't want to have is someone like Bruno suddenly breaking that block and just charging at someone. We saw that in that awful Liverpool game that I always try to forget, where Bruno just legged it from the mid block. And do you remember, like, Wan-Bissaka out of position? They just went through.
You stopped speaking about it. I thought that I got that out of my head.
All right, I'm sorry, Connor. I know memories are painful, but the issue about like what you're talking about there, Paddy, I think it's good to close down space, but the way we play, I don't think we should be pressing like from the midfield. We're not good enough at it. We don't have everyone committed to doing it. I just prefer us to play the standard 4-1-4-1 mid block, and then, you know, to protect ourselves on transitions, to protect ourselves from long balls, and just go out and show what it means to play for Manchester United. So start Phil Jones, and I'll bring you victory.
Yep, there you go. So guys, we're just going to take this off now quickly. And would you mind then, Connor, for us, I'm going to hit from roughly about here, guys. And also, guys, the next part, we need to look at your score prediction.
Matthew says Rashford should play again this season.
Okay, 1 second.
Rebel says some bot advertising crap is all.
Oh, sorry, I shouldn't have put that one up.
Ajmal said Bruno's the dog running in the park. Mr. Silva Fox says Olakunle, indeed, big win going into next week's fixtures. Yeah, their win today against Leicester was massive for them. Or if he's Arsenal, then their win against West Ham was massive as well. Sue says, seeing us against Liverpool, I saw Newcastle Everton against them, played so much better. Never forgive these players for that shocking disgrace. Bruno's a headless chicken. Isn't there a crazy stat where Brentford are unbeaten when Eriksen starts? I'd be interested to know if that's true.
Interesting. It is. It's there.
Rebel says, are you saying Bruno's
Sorry.
Good one.
I love this comment so much. This is my comment of the day. Rebel says, are you saying Bruno's a bit like Derek Zoolander at Bathside, but instead of not being able to turn left, he can't reverse?
Pretty much. I think that Rashford's a bit more like Derek Zoolander, where but just like they have the same level of footballing ability. All I ever see him do now is posing.
Guys, 21 in the chat. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button.
Rusty Saw, what a name here. Rusty Sawblade says we're so getting beat tomorrow, and good team solo. I really feel that we would be better hardworking team with Bruno and Rashford drop, bringing Mata and Grancho, and I completely agree.
Wow,
that's who I have in my team.
A lot of people at the moment, we just gave Bruno Fernandes a new contract, and a lot of people want him to be dropped already.
I think for this year, you got to drop him. At least for this year.
I still believe in Bruno, and he is a hard-working player. He just needs a bit of coaching.
But is he captain tomorrow? Did he captain? Who captained?
He did, yeah. It was Bruno.
Is that
Give it to Phil Jones.
No way.
Give it to Phil Jones, mate. I say give it to Phil Jones. Oh, give it to
Fred, vice captain. Yeah.
I'd rather have De Gea have it, or I'd rather have Ronaldo have it. Ronaldo was here when it was good.
Yeah. Or De Gea.
And then Olakunle says the best part of the show is you bought the naming your starting 11. I still can't figure out why there isn't a bigger gap between you lot in the top 4 London clubs. That's because most of the London clubs are just as shite.
I love that you've left out Palace and Brentford.
Rusty Sawblade says probably because the London clubs are rubbish too. Emma says the holes we left all over the place against Chelsea, especially in defense. Brentford is going to sniff out in seconds. It's completely true.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ericsson.
So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go on to this here. And this is my Glimmer, guys. This is a Glimmer, if you can see it. Glimmer.
No.
So quick yes or no. Top
No.
four.
No.
Finish.
No
No.
chance.
Yeah? That's all
No
we're saying,
chance.
right? No
Nope.
chance. Okay,
No
we're done
chance.
then. No top four, then we finish.
Europa
Finish.
League. Thursday nights are going to be the most fun we have all week.
So Connor, Thursday night football. You want to come and help Mr. B run the Thursday night football?
Yeah, I'll come help with Thursday
Me
nights.
talk and on Monday we're not here in Rebel. It's our night off. We're definitely not here those days.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
too
that should
busy.
be all right.
I'm far too busy to do Thursday night football.
Yeah, that should be fine.
Yeah, so you can do the Thursday night football. We're not doing it. We want Champions League football.
Yeah, I agree. Poor man's Champions League. That's what that is.
Yeah. But guys, on a quick note, right, before we go through the comments and prediction, guys, get your score prediction in. That's going to be the next topic of the show. Guys, do you honestly think if we did get Europa League, who in agreements here would say that we give it to the youth to play? Just put the youth in and that's it.
Yep.
And leave the-
100%.
100%.
Yeah.
It would be fantastic.
I see so many youth. I see so many youth players that could absolutely love doing that. I mean, Will Fish, Fernandez, Garancho, Hannibal, maybe Hugo or McNeil, Garner, Laird. Mengi's going to be coming back from his loan. Galbraith has gone under the radar. Galbraith has gone completely under the radar out on loan. He's been phenomenal apparently on loan as well. There's so many youth players we have on this team.
Give them a chance. I'm not saying they're good enough to win it though. You know.
Might as well just give him a chance.
Yeah. All I'm saying is give the youth a chance. I don't really care if they'll go on win it, but at least then you'll know sort of what player is sort of like the 100% they're putting in.
There's one player above all else. There's one player above all else that I would love to see get some shots on the first team next year. He's a name that does not get mentioned much. Is Alexander Isak Hansen, who is a Norwegian player that we bought and is a central midfielder who's been bossing it. To Holland's cousin, who plays over in Norway, said that Isak Hansen is the best player he's played against so far.
Sounds good. I would just like Solo. Like, I think that at the moment, like next season, hopefully we're going to get a team that represents our values, is hardworking, plays fun football, and we can get behind the team. I know that all of us will get behind the kids. Like, if we send them out to, like, I don't know, to Amsterdam or somewhere, they'll have a huge travelling support behind them. There won't be too much pressure. And it means that we can get people back, like Ghana, who I don't know how good any of these players are, but it means we can get people... Well, it means we can get people back like Ghana, and we can give them Carabao Cup and UEFA League football to play in. Competitive football that means that we don't necessarily have to rely on loans. And also, I mean, I don't want to be watching Thursday night football either, but if it's a bunch of kids going out to Amsterdam and just legging it about, booting people, red cards, fantastic. I'm extremely up for that. And I actually sort of would quite like us to finish 7th. So that we get Conference League and we can get Phil Jones and the kids out all over Europe, just smashing it up like the good old days.
Yeah, 100% agree. 100% agree with it because it gives you something as well. And I know, Paddy, you're probably saying no to it, but one, it's a trophy, and two, it's a trophy, but at the same time, it's a trophy for me, but then it's about giving the youth the opportunity. So you give the youth that opportunity to play in that sort of league, and then what will happen is the following season, if we're talking about rebuilding Manchester United to become great again, this is a perfect opportunity in playing these youths to see how far they can go. And if they can go on and win it, then you blood more of those young players into the first team. So rather than going and spending all this money on players that's got that high profile already, we're building our own. I was having a conversation with someone today and they were saying, but they were talking about Arsenal, Man United, and they were saying, but we need big name players. We need a big name striker. I named off Ronaldo. Did anyone know who Ronaldo was? Did anyone know who Nicolas Anelka, Vieira, and all those players? And when he was coming back, he was saying, no, I didn't know them. And then what happened? They became a household name because you bought a product that no one really and truly know about, but because of the right coaching allowed them to sort of get to that level.
And their attitude, that's very important.
Hold up. I love this last comment by Saragon because I'm a huge fan of him before he even went to Red Bull, went to Leipzig. Gvardiol is a phenomenal left-footed center back.
But how much would he cost Man United? This is what I'm trying to say.
25-30 max, 19.
Right, guys.
The Premier League, though.
Pardon?
Yeah, get Tyrone Mings.
I think he'd do well. No, I think Gavardio is going to be a special
Hold
player.
on.
I was
Half
looking
time.
at it
Are you a
before.
fan of Tyrone Mings as well?
I am a fan of Tyrone
Oh,
Mings.
half
Yeah.
time.
Bless.
Brilliant.
Do
Absolute
you like Tyrone
legend.
Mings, Fred?
Yes.
Do you
Oh,
like
bless.
Tyrone Mings? Yes,
Legend.
Bob. The
Legend.
Fred
On
McTominay
Monday.
Tyrone Mings triangle.
Oh,
Let's
on
make
Monday,
it
I miss
happen.
me all the time. They have
He's
me
up
all the
here.
time.
He's up here at Villa. He's up here at Villa, and the Villa. He's got a mistake in him most games. Time.
He's got
Seriously.
mistake. Listen, at
He
the
was
moment, Harry
fantastic
Maguire's
against us.
Yeah, Harry Maguire's
I will
got
say
a
one thing.
mistake.
There's one player that's out for Brentford tomorrow that we didn't mention that I'm extremely thankful that he's out, and his name is Frank Onyeka,
Right.
who I was a huge fan of. I actually was scouting him to. I knew he was coming to the Premier League before it was even announced he was getting sniffed around by Premier League players. And now he's from FC Midtjylland in the Danish league. Absolutely phenomenal central defensive midfielder. He's been phenomenal for them all year, and he's a huge loss, I think, for them tomorrow, being out in the middle of the park. I honestly do. He's been phenomenal for them this year.
Right, guys, we're going to hit the score prediction. So first things first, Paddy. After that
1-0.
brilliant sort of 1-1.
1-0.
Wow. Okay. Oh, Connor.
I'm going to be a little batshit crazy here because it's Sunday and I'm still hungry. I'm going to I'm going to go 4-1 United.
Bath time.
I'm going 3-1 United, but I like that, Connor. That's.
Yeah, I'm still hungry, so I'm going to go a little.
I know it's
batshit
the
crazy.
appetite for goals.
I have an appetite for a decent squad, and this still isn't it.
Yeah, I'm going to go 3-1. I'm going to go 3-1.
Nice.
Yeah.
To United,
So
yeah?
Yeah, to United. And then we're going to score some score prediction I'm going to give you. So Matthew Bassett.
3-1 Brentford.
Stumpy.
3-2 Stumpy to who?
Big name. Big
To
up
who?
Stumpy. Love that name.
Bill says 2-1 United. Asmal says 2-0 Brentford.
Wow, some of these people.
Rashford is a rash bandicoot. Fred captain, holy shit, please no.
I'm just trying to get some score prediction.
Bruno and Rashford need a fresh start. They need a fresh start far away from the club next.
Oh, no, I'd keep Rashford, to be fair.
I'd
No, they
keep
need a
Bruno.
fresh start, meaning they need to go far away from here and go on holiday for the rest of the year.
I'm so looking forward to Ten Hag taking over this revolution. I'm so looking forward to it.
I love it. I love how ruthless he is.
I'm intrigued.
Sorry. Pass the bag, Jesus. What's this?
Rebels has got to think we have to win our last bloody home game. We're not going to keep a clean sheet, so going to say we get them done 3-1 or my name isn't OMONDI. Oh, wait.
1-0 and see the game out.
3-1 Brentford. You lot can't be that deluded. You want the youth playing the Europa Conference League. Your club needs to make your first team play, make them realize what they've done to your club, for fuck's sake. And I disagree, but, is what it is. I believe the children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. It's funny because our club's pillars of our foundation are on the youth and bringing youth from the academy through.
Yeah.
What's this?
Bathurst says 30 from 40 million for Gvardiol, and I still think, honestly, that's a cheap price for the talented player he is. Smells of a 1-1.
Okay, brilliant. Ten Hag, I'm thinking, guys, listen, we've been going for so long. I wanted to cut the show at 45 minutes, but there's 20 in the chats, guys. And if you are watching for the first time, please hit the subscribe button. If you're in the chat and you're old to the channel, you know what to do. Hit that like button, guys. Without your support, the channel would not be growing. But as always, guys, from the Man United Agenda, we are back tomorrow as well. I think kickoff's at 8 o'clock tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yep. I believe
Oh,
the
God
watch
bless. I
along.
can actually get in a good night's sleep before the game.
The watch along. There's 27 likes, guys. Let's hit that 30 likes before we jump off, because I got Rebel here. Solo, you better. Oh yeah, true. Yeah, I better. Yeah, I get strong. I've got to go and revise after this as well. I got studying to do. I'll be up till about 1-2 o'clock in the morning. It's fine though. Yeah, 27 guys. 27. Let's make it 30. So listen, from us at the Man United Agenda, you will have the watch along tomorrow with Talk on Mr. B, and then after that, you then have none other. I believe I might be back tomorrow with on Monday. I believe he's back to see the game out. I'm not sure. Saragan, let's see what last thing he's put in. Go on, this is all you. I'm not that sort of thing.
De Gea, Delo, Varane, Lindelof, Telles, Matic, Hannibal, Bruno, Ronaldo, Granito, Cavani. Cavani
can't be in there.
Cavani can't be there. Cavani ain't
Cavani's
fit,
done
is
for the
he?
year. Yeah, I think Cavani's out for the year.
Yeah.
What's that? Yeah, the last one, and then I think Rebel say he's on as well.
Top show as always. Big up everyone on the show and in the chat. Big up to Matthew, and then Rebel. Yep, I think is going to be on. And then Anthony says 2-1 Brentford.
Typical, isn't it? Right, guys, from us, this is it from us now. So thank you all for watching, liking, sharing, subscribing. And I believe if I was right today, there was over 148 comments today, guys. So really appreciate it. And thanks, Connor. I put him on the spot there. Thanks, guys, for watching, liking, sharing, and subscribing. From myself, Solo, and you've got Bath Time in the building as well, guys. Actually, you know what? Bath Time, because you've got your own sort of thing as well. Go on. Where can people find you? I know you're going to say probably here.
Yeah, here. Like I have, if you put my name into YouTube, which is Bath Time with Vaughan, you can find an extremely boring channel that focuses on football tactics. I've got an hour-long PowerPoint presentation on how Ten Hag sets up for transitions. It's not really worth your time, I wouldn't have thought. But if you like that kind of thing, you can go and have a look at it. But I'm warning you, it is tremendously boring. But like, it's there for you.
I'll listen to it while I'm trying to fall asleep.
Yeah, it'll haunt you.
I know, Connor, you're with us, but I always do it as well anyway.
Yeah, I'm here occasionally on Rich Sports, but for the most part, yeah, I'm here. Always love being on here.
Brilliant. Paddy, I'm going to do the same thing to you as well, but let's see. We got some real. Hold on 1 second. Let me take you off this screen because I was seeing a comment there. I was reading it properly. Paddy, where are we seeing you, sir? But we know where we're seeing you anyway.
Admiral MUFC on Twitter.
Brilliant. And the last comment I would like you to look at is this one here.
No matter how bad we are, it could be worse. It could be worse. It could be.
Okay, we've got this one comment now. This is, I've not seen this person yet, so big up, welcome to the channel. Can you pronounce the name?
Oh shit, I'm a brick. Let me see. Anshuman, I think. Anshuman.
Big up. Guys, if we didn't read your comments out today, we really appreciate it. But I think we got through.
Drop the comments in the video after it's posted. If we didn't read your comments.
So if you do it, you got Bath Time, you got Paddy, and you got Yankee Talking Smack. They will keep an eye out and respond back to your comments. So, guys, also a quick one. Who would you like to be your captain next season? That's the one at the moment, current one. Quick one, guys. Who would you like to be captain next season? De Gea. Bath Time.
McTominay.
I wouldn't mind McTominay, but it's going to be. I think De Gea is the best bet.
Yeah.
Okay. So De Gea will be the best bet, guys. Keep the conversation going. And last, Vincent, big up. Welcome to the channel. We're just jumping off, sir, as you coming on. I'm gonna say De Gea. De Gea will be for me as well. De Gea will definitely. So the panel's all saying De Gea. Keep the conversation in the chat, guys, if you like. We're saying Bill. I'll take Fred as well, mate, as captain if I could. I would, honestly. But guys, from us tonight at the Mania Agenda, have a lovely night and hopefully we'll win 3-1 tomorrow. Good night.
Yeah.